sync. Hi, I'm Casual Chris. I just bought a green screen. It's about to be my whole personality. I am gonna isekai myself into every shonen, every harem, every backroom, every bathroom, every bathroom. I spent an embarrassing, painfully long amount of time trying to figure out how I was gonna start this video, this channel, and at some point I just decided, F it. When I was 5 years old, my sister asked me for the first time if I wanted to play Super Mario Bros. With her on her NES. She sits me down in our basement, hands me Player 2, shows me the basics. What I would see on that early 2000s box TV screen that day mesmerized me. Watching my sister masterfully navigate World 1-1 with fluid motion and awareness of every hidden block, not to mention nailing the jump on the flagpole at the end of the level, sticking the landing while fireworks flashed in the background, I was convinced in that moment that my sister was nothing short of a gaming god. It wasn't until the next level, World 1-2, that my love for gaming would truly be cemented though. It was my sister's turn. I was still brand spanking new to the game, so I didn't know what to expect. The music hit. Chubby little plumber Mario dropped out of the green pipe and onto the floor, and we were off.
Dig it.
Certified bop, by the way. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. Goombas were getting lit up. No! Koopa shells were flying, coins were lining Mario's pockets. None of that ragu shit, boys. We eating good tonight. Nuna's making sugo. But then my sister veered off path. She starts punching away at the blocks lining the roof of the level, shattering the brick ceiling, if you will. Right? And just then, my whole perspective, my very outlook on life was flipped upside down. I couldn't believe my young eyes. This bitch was crazy. She was thinking so far outside of the box, she had just left the f***ing room. Where are you going? She starts skipping chunks of the level, weaving in and out, picking up hidden block here, hidden one up there, going completely uncontested by the level's programmed enemies. The intended difficulty curve had effectively been thrown out the window. Truly, this moment instilled within me the timeless concept of thinking smarter, not harder. And that is why I cheated on all of my high school exams. Eventually, she approaches the green exit pipe, the end of the level. She's standing on the elevator platform thing and she does something that still baffles me to this day. Frankly, it was traumatizing. I lost sleep, I missed school, doctors diagnosed me with baffleitis, worst case I'd ever seen. My sister jumps onto the roof of the cave above the exit pipe and marches right past it, effectively blocking her path back to the only exit. Or so I thought. As she ran forward with all the speed that a middle-aged Italian plumber hopped up on espresso and sodium can muster, something came into frame. A secret room. 3 pipes presented themselves and a sign appeared that read, "Welcome to Warp Zone." In that moment, my 5-year-old mind was blown. I had just been taken on this emotional roller coaster and the payoff was like nothing I could have expected. I felt like I had just robbed a bank. Like Mr. Krabs himself had just presented me with the coveted Krabby Patty formula. I felt in the know. And that's what gaming used to be all about. Having these wild experiences, going on an adventure, and then sharing the story with your friends later on in the schoolyard and comparing details. Finding new secrets and tricks and being the first one in your friend group to open the floodgates on that particular bit of gaming knowledge. Getting excited about the prospect of exploration and being rewarded for getting creative, thinking outside the box and having an inquiring mind. Then rubbing that shit in your friend's face because you found it first and you'll be damned if you're not getting credit for biting into that shit like the goddamn apple of Eden. Fucking
Assassino!
You guys remember these hideous abominations of literature? I used to ask my parents to bring me to Indigo all the time as a kid, just so I could go to the magazine section with a pen and paper I brought from home and copy down every cheat code on every book. Never got caught.
Give me all you got! Give me all you got!
The Sims, GTA 4, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Def Jam, Ratchet and Clank. I'll never forget the feeling of inputting a cheat code for the first time and it actually working. Hearing that little sound effect indicating something had happened to my game. In GTA 4, it was that little cell phone beep. I swear, my 10-year-old ass thought that was like hacking into NASA. I've been chasing that dopamine high ever since.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
The Game Boy Advance era of video games was a transitional period, where schoolyard word of mouth was still the primary method of exchanging gaming information, but the internet was just growing out of its infancy stage. And consequently, we had thousands upon thousands of unmoderated forums, where people would spew the most bogus, made-up troll nonsense, barely comprehensible as human speech. Some of my personal favorite cheats and secrets included getting both Brock and Misty to join you on your adventure in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, simply by talking to them 100 consecutive times in a row until their scripted text changed to, and I quote, "Oh my god, you are so annoying. If I help you become the champion of the Pokemon League, will you shut up?" At 7, I really thought that Game Freak had put this in the game. Don't even get me started on leaked Smash Bros rosters. And there were so many more examples like this too, especially with the Pokemon games. From the infamous Mew under the truck rumor, to people claiming you could hitch a ride on the space station rocket in Pokemon Emerald to fight Deoxys on the moon, or how to allegedly join Team Rocket by talking to the guy at the end of Nugget Bridge with just the right Pokemon in your party. It also didn't help that the modding community was all over the Wild West that was early YouTube, fanning the flames of all this bullshit by showcasing ROM-hacked versions of the games, trying to pass them off as authentic success stories. Needless to say, back then it was really easy to get lost in the sauce of sorting through all this misinformation, especially as a gullible 10-year-old. You needed a guide, someone with credibility who could help you sort the based from the bullshit. You needed a cool older cousin.
Cards, let's go ball.
My all-time favorite game, Dark Cloud, went entirely unbeaten for the first 6 years that I owned it because I couldn't figure out how to get past the first boss. I got the game along with my first ever console, the PlayStation 2, for Christmas at the ripe old age of 3. I could probably count on one hand how many months of collective sentience I had clocked in at that point. I don't know who the thought I was ready for advanced storytelling mediums. And this shit got dark too. Jesus Christ, I was 3! Questionable subject matter aside, it wasn't until I asked my older cousin, who also had the game, for an in-depth analysis, full breakdown on this flying rabbit thing, his attacks, his weaknesses, his diet, his lifestyle choices. It wasn't until I underwent my multi-season long shonen anime level training arc with the filler episodes that I was even able to understand that you're supposed to use the character with the ranged weapon to shoot him out of the sky so that you can then attack him when he lands. After some crash course strategizing, this man had me fired up like I was in the locker room at halftime during the 2019 NBA Finals. I was the Kawhi Leonard of this game's first boss fight. Eventually, I was able to beat Dran and go on to finish the rest of the game too. It's just so wild to think that I never would have discovered this incredible game, which I absolutely love. Video on that coming soon, if not for my cousin lending me that initial hand. That generational transference of wisdom, that passing of the torch from one generation of gamers to the next. I wanted to save this story for the end because it means the most to me, but also because I feel like it illustrates the feeling and specific type of nostalgia that I'm trying to tap into with this video perfectly. Every weekend growing up, I would go over to my cousin's house and together we would fire up the Super Nintendo in his big brother's room, jump excitedly up to the foot of the bed, and spend the entire day playing Super Mario World. We knew the game inside and out. Every shortcut, every secret, every level, except for one. Just ahead of the first castle boss in the Donut Plains, there is a haunted castle at the northernmost end of the zone. Now normally you would navigate this level just like any other, running through a couple doors, jumping over a couple pitfalls, playing peekaboo with these goobers, and then you're out. Nice and easy. But
Stop, man!
if you were clever enough to start the level with a cape feather, you could literally just ascend over the entire level like SpongeBob listening to wolves. similar idea to the Super Mario Bros. 1 Warp Zone. By following this path, you ended up with an alternate exit, which led you to Top Secret Area. It's not like a cute name me and my cousins came up with, by the way. It's literally called the Top Secret Area on the world map. Located on a little smiling hill at the northernmost part of the zone, Top Secret Area consisted of a single room with 5 blocks, and all of them had that good. Seriously, the shit was like a mini armory for all your Italian plumber needs. And the level was infinitely repeatable. You could just keep redoing it until you had infinite lives and more fire flowers than a goddamn Hot Ones episode. Honestly, the level basically broke the game, but that was okay, because the deep level of satisfaction that me and my cousin derived from uncovering that mystery together was priceless. And honestly, it's a memory that I cherish, especially now as an adult. Games aren't like this anymore. There's no mystery, no wonder, and what few clever Easter eggs or little details that devs do put in usually get solved and receive a walkthrough guide by the end of launch day. It's just not the gaming landscape that I grew up with. That's part of why Top Secret Area means so much to me. It represents what I love about video games and what drew me to them in the first place. It's sort of a virtual visual metaphor, a safe haven. It's a sobering thought that secrets like this no longer really exist in modern gaming. Thanks to the all-powerful state of the internet, the gaming landscape has been irreparably changed forever. But maybe that's okay. My generation derived value from creating our own adventures out of relatively primitive games. But modern gaming is so high spectacle now, with beautiful graphics and some of the best writing in modern media. Kids don't need to use their imagination the same way we did, because now developers have the technology to truly bring their creative visions to life for us to see and appreciate. So maybe it's not about better or worse. Maybe it's just different. Thank you all so much for watching. There are literally so many other gaming secrets, cheats, stories I could have talked about in this video, but I didn't want to lose the plot. Don't forget to drop in the comments some of your favorite video game stories growing up if you feel like sharing, and feel free to like and subscribe for more nostalgic video game, anime-ish content. I haven't really decided what this channel is going to be all about yet. We got the vibe. Thanks for watching.